If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Hello, everybody. I'm very excited about today's show. As you can tell, I am a huge Jurassic Park fan, and tonight we are going to be unboxing Dinosaur World, the new dinosaur-themed board game.
Al, we talked about this. It's
You know how many dino meeples are in this? You don't think the crowd wants to sit there and watch me count like 500 T-Rex meeples for the next hour?
I'm not I'm not sure this crowd is the unboxing and looking at Meeple's crowd, Al. I think this is the Star Arms Dodgeball crowd, buddy.
Great. Well, while I put this away, you figure out what that echo problem is.
That's probably this. Hopefully that's gone away now if you say something.
Something.
Let's see if the chat tells us that the echo's gone away. Sometimes OBS is a little funky. Good. Okay. Sounds good. Excellent. Well, welcome everybody to Thunderballs Our Go, Season 8, Episode 2. So we're going to round up the second round of Dodgeball action. We're going to get that slideshow up right here for you. We got loads to talk about, Al. It was a pretty action-packed round, I think, round 2. Some games took a little longer than others, I think it's fair to say. But we'll get right into that. But first, let's just take a look at the way the table stands as we go into round 2. Right. And obviously, it's fairly straightforward after round 1. We've got 5 winners, 5 losers. And really only those tiebreakers, splitting the difference there, with Dodge like an Egyptian dominating their game, standing right on top of the pyramid of teams below them. So not a huge amount to talk about, but this is going to change obviously as the season progresses. We're going to see some real ups and downs there. So it's gonna start to get interesting, certainly as we move towards the middle and the end. And then, Al, I fancy a cup of tea. Do you?
Oh, I always want tea.
Everyone loves tea. So I had quite a bit to go through, I think, in terms of tea. I think you had some as well, Al. We're gonna start though by revisiting Huanglish. For those of you not in the know, Huanglish is the Donut Stop Reviving team trying to translate what Juan Carlos actually means when he says what he says. So we're going to start with a multiple choice, Al. Blindsiding you with this one. So I'm gonna say something, give you 4 options, and I want you to kind of pick which one you think is the correct translation of Huanglish. So this week, Al, we're translating "I just won MVP."
Okay.
So we'll read out the definitions, and you tell me if you pick A, B, C, or D, what you think is the right one. So, I just won MVP is what the translation is. What did Juan actually say? Was it I'm number Juan? Mm-hmm. I played well. I think I was a good part of the team that week, or Juan on.
My initial inclination was I'm number 1.
Yeah,
because
it's a pun-tastic.
About that all the time. But he's very subtle in his wanness, and I think I'm just gonna have to go with I played well.
Okay, so you think it was I played well? We've got Zim in chat thinking that the pun is the right answer, and Colo adding Juan more time. Thestral wants D, Juan on. I think she might regret saying that later.
Does Thestral want D like the letter? Like
it's certainly the letter in chat, but
okay.
The joke is on all of us, Al, because every single one of those was Huanglish for I just won MVP.
All right.
All of them were correct. In other news, a recent Legend winner was overheard claiming that they want their card to be, and I quote, a wizard cat lady guy titled The Kitty Man. So an interesting, I'm not sure that Wise Wizard Games will go for it, but it's certainly an interesting take.
All I'm saying is, it wasn't me, but it could have it could easily have been me because I'm definitely planning on sending them multiple pictures of Bogart, probably more than me,
Maybe in
when they do my legend.
a bowler hat, possibly.
Yep.
So Al denies being the Kitty Man live on stream. I mean, Thestral, Lux, Agency 13, all recent winners of Legend status. So it could be any of those. Any of those with numbers in their names and who maybe spy a bit. So Deanna B, speaking of Lux, Deanna B and Lux just straight up forgot to race for their round 1 ball, Al. Round 2 ball, which shouldn't be surprising as I have it on good authority that Legend Lux has gone so far as to entirely mute his own team chat.
You know, I don't really blame it. I'm sure it is a very there's probably a lot of chat going on, and I could see that being a little overwhelming for him.
I think definitely the volume. I'm not sure about the quality. I can't speak to the quality of the chat, but I think the volume will be certainly high. But yeah. So
I think if I were on a team with a bunch of rogues, I'd probably mute that real quick.
I think there's an interesting sub game in terms of like how you get Lux's attention as well. So we might dive into that in future in future episodes. We also hear from the Donut chat here. They got a bit excited, and this is kind of a snippet of what went on in their chat. We won one, Juan. Juan, we won one. It looked like it might be 1-1, but Juan, we finally won one. Where were you when we won one? Juan. Bit of a mouthful there, but that's the typical kind of hijinks that team gets up to in chat. So I'm not sure that Sissa Sid is the only one who's spouting drivel in their team chat.
It's good to know that there are some very very excited chats out there.
Absolutely.
I think that is the most fun about Dodgeball is the team aspect and the camaraderie. With that said, some of y'all are wackadoodle and ridiculous. And I love it.
I think many of the dodgeballers can probably own that and wear it quite proudly as well. Now, Al, I think you received Darklighter and the Mystic Megahall, and they have a lexicon, a glossary, if you will, of Star Realms terms. And I think you've had a potential submission wafted under your nose for it, have you not?
This is true. So hopefully, I don't know if either of them are here or if someone wants to submit this, but I think we have a new addition to the Star Realms glossary. And that is, the term is concession stand. And that is the name of a player who is handing out salty snacks in the form of premature wins by concession.
Oh my god, I love it. I've had a few concession stands recently, actually, in non-dodgeball play, but that's excellent.
My favorite concession stand might be what's his name? Was it Dread? There's one guy I hit in ranked, and for me it's a race.
Is it Joseph Dredd?
Before he concedes.
Was it 3 or 4 games? I think it was Joseph Dredd, I think is the name, maybe.
Yeah, Joseph Dredd, that's it.
And I think they played like back-to-back 4 ranked games, and every single time, like, the concession happened within a turn or two.
Yeah. Mine. The trick is, can I get a turn in? Like, can I finish my first turn before he concedes?
Before the insta-concede comes in, before you finished actually taking your turn.
And I have to say, Ian points out something wonderful. The concession stand always sells franks.
It always sells franks. Oh, that's amazing for those.
I do kind of miss that surrender monkey from France.
For those again who maybe weren't in the community when Frank was a big deal, for FR Unit 7, Frank, very, very good player. I mean, the guy had, again, I'm not going to be 100% accurate on this one, Al, but I think it was something like a 63-64% win percentage. And he would habitually concede a game that he thought he had already lost. So things like you get a cargo mech on your first like couple hands in the first deck. That's a concession.
Yeah.
Like you get some nonsense like a Leviathan or an Ark on your first 2 turns. That's a concession. Like Frank was not shy about hitting concede.
No.
So that is wonderful that the concession stand also sells Franks. That's amazing. So
there we go, concession stand. If I haven't seen the Mystic or Rick in here, but if someone wants to submit that would be excellent.
Absolutely. We've also I did get a late submission of some more Huanglish, so I know we did a multiple choice, but we've also got like a handful of more terms for you. I can't tell Thunderballs what is Huanglish for. I just won MVP. Huanglish only occurs naturally and not on demand. What do you think he was trying to say, Al, with that statement? What does that translate into English from Huanglish?
I think that means he's sick of us talking about him.
I believe "get my good name out of your filthy mouths" is the dictionary definition for that one. Y'all speak better Huanglish than I do. Where do we think that one's going?
That might be quit using Juan as a pun.
This entire bit is distracting me from total domination.
Oh, that sounds about right.
We've got a teammate telling him that their deck is garbage, and Juan replying with, "It's not garbage, but slightly worse than mine." What do we think that translates into?
Your deck sucks and you're going to lose.
Yeah, pretty much. Your deck is a dumpster fire. Neural, when speaking about a specific card, Neural Nexus has greater value than you think. And this is to a player who allegedly hates Nexus.
Oh.
Where do we think that one is going?
You're an idiot.
Yes, something like that. Listen here, you little thing. My understanding of the card's full abilities is one of the reasons I mop the floor with people like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then finally, and this is one of my favorites, I can't believe you got to 8 a con that turn.
Oh. That means you stole the good card off trade row from me.
How do you beat me to Levi, you American luck box? So there we go. That's all the tea from this week. Thoroughly enjoying our forays into Huanglish, and please do keep them coming. srdbtattler@gmail.com for any and all submissions. They will stay appropriately anonymous unless they can't be. Huanglish being a prime example. But yeah, send them in. We love to see them. We love to read them, and we will include them.
It's the only reason I continue to do this show.
Absolutely. And as Al always says, it doesn't even need to be true.
No. In fact, I sometimes prefer when it isn't.
The more outrageous, the better. So we're going to go into the matches this week. We've got on court 1, we've got My Bologna, and that is captained by Slavic, facing Dodgy Deeds Done Dirt Cheap against Captain Raka. Court 2, we've got Should I Stay or Should I Throw? Sit against For Whom the Ball Tolls. That's captained by Serity and Zim, respectively. Court 3, Janie's Got a Ball. That's Riska against Dodge Like an Egyptian, Captain Agent Sato. Court 4 is Sweet Catcher Mine, Acox89, and Donut Stop Revising Chasmo. And then Dodging in the Dark, finally on Court 5, captained by Rip versus Never Gonna Get You Hit, captained by our very good Silent Al here. So we're going to go through those. I'm going to start on Court 1, as is traditional. And Dodgy Deeds and My Bologna, they get going 3-all. But the throws begin as Dakaran and Slavic can't line up to get finished before the race timer runs out. So the decision's made to get going. We do have a 36-hour timer on those races, so off we go, straight to business. And Tatiana gets right to it as she eliminates Fire Driller with the first action of the match, shortly before Raka eliminates fellow Captain Slavic, but he can't destroy the Patriarchy with his next throw. The Wolfhound then catches and eliminates Vorazori, and it is immediately begged by a bored Aldarin to throw at him. Now, some might say that the winning move here is to win the race, and then you don't have to go, cap in hand to the opposition asking for a ball to be thrown at you.
That's just thirsty.
It is very, very thirsty. And I don't believe that the Wolfhound was willing to reciprocate the feelings of ball throwing to Alder, and so. But nevertheless, Dan Karan and Kincaid finally finished their race just in time to see Tatiana take out Imam. She's shivved straight off the field to make sure that she's not left standing on her own at the end. Raka's apparently turning on beast mode as he successively takes out Patriarch and Darklighter, whilst the Wolfhound catches Compton P to revive Fire Driller, who immediately gets Raked back to the bench. So he literally doesn't even get a chance to come on the court. He's straight back off the court. It's an immediate U-turn for the Germanic player.
And that's 2 catches already for the rookie.
Yes, absolutely.
Nice.
And before visiting the bench, though, Fire Driller's ball accounts for that Sean guy, and he takes him with him, dragging him, fellow rogue, back to the depths. Kincaid now enters the fray with a bit of a bait and switch as he catches Tatiana's ball to revive Slavic, who then eliminates Tatiana. And whilst Compton P is off busy bringing Wolfhound pelts back in fashion, he sends him to the bench as well. So just a complete turnaround as Kincaid weighs into the match in epic fashion. Slavic tries to rid the match of Alderin finally, and almost succeeds, but he gets racked for his troubles, who is, and I quote, dropping more bodies than Henry VIII right now. So the state of play is that we've got Kincaid versus Compton P, Raka, Dakaran, and Alderin. And it looks like Kincaid might have been watching some Scott Pilgrim, Al, because the first to die is Compton P, whilst Raka manages to kind of matrix out of the way of Kincaid's ball. But Dakaran is next to go, and then Kincaid catches Raka's ball to eliminate him. Raka sending out a zombie ball before death to try and catch Kincaid out. But otherwise, it's high noon between the two friends, Kincaid and Alderin. Seeing his fate, so their balls get thrown at each other, but seeing his fate written in the stars and on the faces of the bystanders, Alderin tosses both of his emergency balls at Kincaid as he's hit, and walks to the bench hoping for some luck. So Kincaid dodges one, but he can't dodge the second one, and he's hit. And this game, unbelievably, goes into overtime race-off. So Alderin and Compton P win their balls to put Dodgy Deeds in the driver's seat, and Darklighter pulls one back just as Raka wins his race. So now it's 3-1, and any race win hands Dodgy the match. So Kincaid wins his race. Imam wins her race. We're now at 3 balls apiece, and it's only Dakaran and the Wolfhound left. Dakaran does bring it home, though, and just like the start of the match, it's 4 balls to 3, won by Dodgy Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. So very, very many congratulations to them. And, you know, again, race wins, not to be underestimated, especially when you have to do it twice in one match.
That's true.
That is very true. Now, where do we feel the MVP goes here, Al?
There were some really great performances here. I mean, rookie catching, Kincaid crushing, but we're gonna have to go with the team that won, which was Raka's team, and he gave an excellent performance. 5 hits, 3 dodges. He won all of his defensive games and won both races.
Which a true captain's performance there from Raka then, just really showing his team how it's done. Yeah, absolutely. So congratulations to Raka and to his team, Dodgy Deeds, for taking the match on court 1. As we move to court 2, Al, we see there that Sisasit and For Whom the Ball Tolls are in on the action. So it's Zim and Serity coming out to play. Now, Zim begins auspiciously by posting in entirely the wrong place. But nevertheless, he did actually win his race ball, even if it was not where it needed to be.
Wait, he posted in the wrong place. Did he race the correct person, or did he race like Sandra Torres?
Oh no, he didn't race Sandra Torres. It was a legit race, and he did win. It was the right person. He just, instead of making a fresh reply in the thread, he replied underneath the taggings where everyone was tagged for the race. So schoolboy error by Zim there, but indeed. Full ball toll edges the races 4-3. There was a lot of that scoreline going on this week. A lot of close race offs. Now, the game begins with Wizard Cat Lady Guy 13 deciding that incorrectly posting a race win is low-level shenanigans, and he throws a ball he didn't even win at Bahamut 619. Bahamut avoids and reclaims either ball 2 or ball 4. The investigation is still pending, and it depends on who you believe. But anyway, he throws it back at the agent, who catches it in style, eliminating Bahamut from the match and maybe making him consider whether it wasn't a trolley ploy all along. There's now a period of play that involves a lot of dodging. Thestral and Super Grandma retire to one side of the court to play with their love ball, whilst Steph and Zim play out a charade where Steph pretends not to know what ball she's holding and or throwing, and Zim pretends his hearts are for her baby and not for her wins. So Zim has the chance to end the dance, but he brings back Bahamut when he catches Steph, and Steph rewards him by taking his head clean off with the next throw of the game to send him benchwards. So not necessarily covering himself in glory there, Zim. Steph, now on a roll, also accounts for the freshly revived Bahamut, sending him to the bench to join his captain. So another immediate U-turn. Love to see those. Get back off this court. So Ninja Nin goes on to catch a throw from Sarah T, reviving Zim, and then eliminates her with his return throw. So really doubling down on that. And then seeing Zim back on the field of play, Steph tries to send him back to the bench, but the ball is not tolling for him just yet, and he takes Steph's ball. Now, Ninja Nin, now on chicken captain Zim's orders, throws repeatedly at Simply Steph until she's dead. And Steph, who is not at all bitter, continues to imply strongly that Zim is scared of her and is a big feathery chicken, and did we mention that Zim was a big chicken? So Poop Deck and Deanna B exchange throws with no result, and Thestral, tired of playing love ball with Super Grandma, eliminates ball Confucianist Agent C13 Lady Cat. Super Grandma takes out the coward formerly known as Zim, and is rewarded by a ball to the face from the ninja, whilst Thestral is busy mopping up after self-proclaimed onanist Phycellus. Deanna B finally gets the better of Poop Deck, who now confidently declares that Lux will go on to clean up the rest of the opponents, and Ninja Nin politely queries if he plans to win by simply outliving his opponents. Now, Lux certainly makes a good stab at it, but it's his balls are sent off to find their targets. Thestral, not using Love Ball mode, gets their hit on Lux to end the match, and Lux can only miss Bedwolf and hit 9-inch and Penguin Army to end the action on Court 2. So, a valiant effort, lots of smack talk flying left and right, but it's Sisasit go down again. To a very strong performance by For Whom the Ball Tolls, captained by, as we said, Chicken Zim. So, who's our MVP here, Al?
So, Thestral gave a really, really great performance.
Yep.
But I think this time we're going to have to go with the 9-inch ninja. He got 3 hits, he got a catch, and he got a dodge.
Yep, that's a solid performance from Zim right there. From Ninja right there. So, congratulations to them. They move on, I believe, to 2-0 and relegate Sisasit to the O2 bracket. And we go to Court 3. And this is Janie's Got a Ball, captained by Risker against Dodge Like an Egyptian, captained by Agent Sato. Absolutely crushing round 1. Let's see what happens in round 2 as Sablefest 2 begins. Dusto, Cyberduck, Tuna Slap, and the headliner herself take 4 of the race balls to gain the early momentum. Now, Jester 204 and Cyberduck can be seen taking themselves off to the side of the court and coming up with some sort of impromptu arrangement. I'm not sure if secret handshakes are involved, but no one hears from them for about half of the match. Now, JP, who won the last outstanding race, immediately changes gear and hits PC Ass Clown, who I'm not even sure was looking, and gets immediately sent to the bench to think about his life choices in not winning the race ball. So we now take a break courtside where we see, yes, Jester 204 and Cyberduck are exchanging throws. Again. And then we go back to the action, but not to be outdone by Jester Duck's antics. Dusto and Cisco Alvarez trade balls, but instead of sending another one racing back at Dusto, Cisco takes a break to bead up on the Zwivix, and the lover of the Profanosaurus is sent to the bench. Very early. The Mystic, presumably on Captain's orders, takes an early bead on Sabella to try and prevent the travelling festival lasting forever, but it comes up unsuccessful and instead takes aim at Tuna Slap, but is caught for his troubles as Tuna revives PC Ass Letter. We go back now, Al, for a live update as Jester 204 dodges Cyberduck, who drew on his volleyball experience by forgetting to throw the ball, finally throwing it, and then losing it. Dusto, taking exception at Cisco playing with others, just straight up eliminates him. Now, I can confirm at this juncture that Cyberduck dodges Jester. Her plan to coat the ball in Crisco backfiring and making it slide past him so that she loses it again. Agent Sato then picks on the poor unfortunate PC clan letters and sends him back to the bench slightly before Artemis catches Dusto and eliminates him. So we now rejoin the Jester Duck 500, building on their previous rallies. They move center stage as the whole court watches them duke it out Highlander style until finally they are both so tired they can't even append witty banter to their posts. It's just the scores. Until Jester, exhausted, stands atop the prone form of Cyberduck, who is too tired to dodge the throw and is dragged off to the bench by the Team Labrador to recover in peace. It's worth mentioning, Al, at this point that was 10 consecutive rallies that Jester Duck and Cyberduck, Jester 204 and Cyberduck had. I believe that's the longest unbroken dodgeball rally on record between two players.
That is ridiculous.
They just kept throwing, kept missing, recovering the ball, throwing it again, missing, and it was just like a true test of endurance between those two rookies, and thoroughly amusing to read. Tuna Slap, now that we've finished Jest Fest, takes the chance to see his moment. The opposition are lulled into a false sense of security by watching the Jester Duck 500 and immediately snaps off two vicious balls, eliminating the Mystic and the by now exhausted Jester 204. Seeing the deadly bus taking aim at him, he expertly catches C-Bus Ripper's attack, eliminating yet another opponent. So right now, if anyone's been following or able to, it's a 3 versus 3. We've got Tuna Slap, Riska, and Sabella on one side, facing down Artemis, JP, and Agent Sato on the other. Now, JP immediately switches the numbers up, catching Riska to revive Cisco Alvarez, and then throwing the ball back at her to eliminate and flip the script. Now it's a 4-on-2. Tuna Slap and Sato dodge some balls before Sabella sends Cisco Alvarez back to the bench with a hefty whack. JP responds by eliminating Tuna Slap, thanks to an alien-induced whiff by the fish. Apparently, it needed extraneous help for such a scrap-down deck, but somehow he still managed it. And we are now in Sablefest 2.0 for sure. There's a whole lot of dodging. Time seems to extend like we're in an alternate dimension, but eventually Artemis ends the match, catching Sabella and ending the game with a win for the Egyptian imitators.
So are we now hitting a point where we now have two players that should not be left till the end with Imam and now Sabella?
I don't know how many times Sabella has successfully destroyed an entire team.
Well, I feel like she just destroyed. I mean, the amount of time it takes for them when she's the last player to eliminate her, I feel like that at least destroys a team emotionally.
I don't know if you've ever played Legend of the Five Rings, Al, but in that game, it's a card game, and you have 4 provinces, and the Dragon Clan is one of the provinces, and when you destroy one of their provinces, all their other provinces become more difficult to destroy. And I feel like that's Sabella's game plan. Like, if you leave her as the final province, like, she just becomes powerful and impossible to take out. Like, try and get rid of her early, maybe that helps, but yeah, she's definitely very challenging to move later on.
I will also point out, since you mentioned Legend of the Five Rings, that game also had a card by one of our Hall of Fame dodgeball players,
It did.
Jim and himself, Jim Chatham.
Yeah.
He had a card named after him in that game.
He did, Jimen, and that was, I believe, from winning effectively something similar to a Legends tournament in Five Rings. I mean, no Magic the Gathering used to do, and Darwin famously is the winner of an invitational card in Magic. And Jimen himself, Jim Chatham, did pretty much exactly the same. I believe it was a Scorpion clan member, if I remember correctly.
I believe so. Yeah.
And I know locally we've got one of the guys who worked on the development of Legend of the Five Rings, a guy called Mark, who moved here from the UK, and he knew Jim, and he said Jim was an exceptionally individual character. But yes.
I feel like that is one of the best descriptions of Jim.
Jim was a true gentleman. One of my favorite dodgeball players. Sorely missed, but we did actually raise a glass to Jim this week in our chat. Yeah, lovely to see players do well. But yeah, Jim was a special one. They broke the mold, as my grandparents used to say, with Jim. But we've got a match MVP to award here, Al. So who does this go to?
I guess we should go back to that. I guess we'll do JP Wins Funny.
JP Wins Funny?
Won his race. He got 3 hits. He got a catch. He won all of his defensive games. And he had a ridiculous 89% overall win percentage.
This is bonkers. That is crazy high. But, JP, he might win funny, but he does win an awful lot. So fair play.
That's the important part.
Absolutely. And congratulations to Dodge Like an Egyptian. They go 2-0. And they move on to Court 4. We've got Sweet Catcher Mine, captained by Acox, against Donut Stop Reviving, captained by Chasmo. Now, it's Court 4, and that means it's time for the Huanglish, so who knows what's going to happen in the T slot next week. But looking through my match notes, Al, something was pointed out to me about Donut Stop Reviving. I don't know if you've noticed it too, or if anyone in chat has. Now, Chasmo appears to have assembled the least diverse team of Season 8. And I can't believe we didn't see this until now. So it appears we kind of got to the crux of the criteria that Chasmo has selected by it. You must love donuts, number 1. It's reasonable. Be a white male, number 2. Have children, number 3. And be between the ages of 38 and 44. It's a very specific criteria, Al. And I mean, at this point, we have to ask if the entire team is taking a career change into policing after Season 8. Maybe watch this space. Donut cops are us. Who knows? I mean, is that a specific draft strategy, Al, or is that simply coincidence? I think.
I mean, to be fair, there's just a lot of people in our community who, Bogart decided to become part of the stream, and
that's fantastic. We are pro.
Just did what cats do and yak right next to my chair.
Pro kitty man. Pro kitty man. Yeah. We are. So that's fine.
Anyway, I mean, to be fair, that is a large portion of our community. But with that said, Chasmo's probably racist.
Well, on that bombshell, the races, however, they were over in double quick time as Acox announced that throws were a go as Commissioner Cranky Day snagged the last race ball. Thunderballs does. The kitty man is right. Thunderballs does need more Bogart. I'm all for that. So I'm not sure, Al, whether we should blame VQ for eliminating him or simply Steph for sneaking into Court 4 to make a "that's what she said" joke. But wherever we want to put the blame, Brent, who's busy crafting another heavy metal ballad to his race ball, is quickly eliminated and then is caught wandering around every other court looking for his keys, a ball, a win, whatever else he claimed to be looking for that he couldn't find on Court 4. No coverage of this on the other courts so as not to encourage further streaking. But yeah, I don't know where you want to blame the blame. I mean, I think I'm hesitant to blame a rookie. I think simply Steph should have known what she was unleashing with "that's what she said" joke. But there we go. Back in the land of the sensible, Sethestral dodges Bork's ball but is quickly eliminated when his ball at Acox is caught and he is invited to take a traditional early game rookie bench rest. The Donut Destroyer now eliminates VQ, reneging on her request for bacon and maple sprinkles and instead giving her scrap sprinkles, much to her distaste. Cranky Day now catches the dejected VQ to bring back Sir Revives-a-Lot. And Cranky then goes on to call time on Darth Cronus' involvement with a massive 124 differential hit. Outstanding. We've got Mo marauding into Rawlinpar's field division and sending a belter at him to put him on ice. And then one Carlos can't take out Sturrock with ball 1 and is in fact caught with a second throw as the Ukrainian strategist elects to eliminate Juan before more befuddling terms can be added to the lexicon. As a side note, Juan tries to avoid this elimination by claiming it won't affect him if he's in bed. Which is an astounding ploy. It doesn't work though, because he's wrong, and it does. Cranky then takes Marauder Mo's ball, whilst Chasmo eliminates Bork and Beans from court 4, but Cranky quickly joins him when Marauder Mo catches his ball. Another big differential, 100 to -18. Oh my days. Another massive result, and that sends him to hit the showers. So Politesk, seemingly absent from the early salvos due to not winning his race ball, is called into action and immediately catches Cranky Day, reviving VQ to rejoin the party. He then goes on to deal a blow to the Dadley Donuters as he takes out the destroyer himself, Chasmo, and Sethestral responds, immediately sending VQ back to the bench. Wet Yeti now claims that his ball smells like Cox and throws it at Acox, beats him with Factory World, and then changes his mind and insists his ball now smells of victory.
Well, they're two very similar smells.
It's short-lived, though, because Mo marauds the wilderness and hits himself up with a Yeti, and the shaggy one is benched. Sethestral, now throwing donuts like he's on a mission, narrowly misses Sturrock and Politesk, but eliminates and catches Marauder Mo to get double and revive Osmosis Brent. So Brent's got his metal besties back, and he takes out Sturrock only to heroically throw himself in front of Sethestral and take the full face hit from Politesk as that ball knocks Brent out. Politesk is not to be deterred, though, and he catches Sethestral to revive Darth Kronos. Now Sethestral, the lone man standing for the donuts, unloads everything like Flash Gordon is approaching and fires all weapons. But alas, he can only throw dodges or misses at Sturrock's zombie ball is irresistible and takes Sethestral to the bench to end the match. So a fine rearguard action there by Sethestral, but not quite enough to survive and take that game. Where do we feel the MVP is on this one, Al?
I guess we'll go with Politis. I mean, 2 hits, 2 catches, 2 dodges, but it's really the 73% win rate that I think...
That's pretty good. I mean, it's not 89, but it's pretty good.
No, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And so that wraps up Court 4, and I'm pretty sure, Al, we know who's on Court 5 here.
Oh, well, this is the most... I assume this is the game everybody's been waiting for.
This is the one. It's Dodging in the Dark, captained by Rip, against Never Gonna Get You Hit, captained by SilentAl. So with only Lady Stacy and Captain Al winning their races, Dodging in the Dark start with a 5-2 ball advantage, which is never a great thing to happen. Guianos, it would appear, got inside Clever Missy's head and forced her to send the wrong format, where he laid down an absolute beatstick before the actual race, which he won. Daryl and MTG are straight out of the blocks, though DG3 so fast that he actually forgets to tag Clever Missy, and despite the edit doesn't realise that adding the tag afterwards, much like the goggles, does nothing. So PSA, remember that if you edit your post to add a tag, they're not going to see it. You'll need to reply to actually... Agent Sato, ours was the game everyone was waiting for. Well, I don't think that's true, but well, I take it under advisement.
When he hosts his show, we can all wait for this.
Now, Guianos takes first blood by sending Lady Stacy to the bench, and Baggio, having claimed NTG's ball, throws it back at her and sends her to the bench, so 1 apiece so far. Guianos tries to bury Baggio, but the human victory cigar is having none of it as he takes away Simon's ball and throws it back at him repeatedly. I think 3 or maybe 4 attempts. Rip eliminates Baggio, and Baggio, with his third go on Guianos, finally eliminates him as the game vacillates between tit for tat, and we're down to 5 versus 5. Now, Bagsman's ball finds its way to Corey Bear as he and Rip now take on merciless campaigns against Yarboa and SilentAl respectively, throwing balls at them until something exciting happens. And it does. Naughty Rip ruins the deadlock first as he hits Captain Al off the court. Boo earns. Corey Bear is no longer taking Yarboa's excuses that being at work constitutes a delay to proceedings, going quite hard on the "that shouldn't stop you, play the game" route. Hypaspist somehow manages to convince Markbot to come to the pop-up nightclub on Court 5, Club Hot Tub, and he's Markbot's tricked into a burlap sack. He's lost everything, especially his bottom deck Hive Queen, and it's suggested that the one place he hasn't looked yet might yield profitable results. And indeed, the "Have you checked your butthole" gif is unleashed upon an unsuspecting Dodgeball audience. And Lady Stacy is revived. So if anyone hasn't seen that, I would recommend you go see that, because it's one of the ruder things that you can come across in GIF-land. There's some ball exchange between Rip and Lady Stacy, and Clever Missy takes away Daryl's ball before Rip finally hits Lady Stacy again, and DG3, again, bit thirsty, tries to incite some throws from Clever Missy and Hypaspist, who are both busy with children or writing copy for Thunderballs, so DG Speed is left swinging his heels for now. Yarbs catches Clever Missy as she dodges Corey Bear, so MTG gets revived, and Yarbs and Clever exchange balls before Clever finally eliminates the industrious Yarboa, and she pops off to the bench. Now, with all these people throwing at each other out tirelessly, Binkley slides from behind one of his teammates to fire a ball into Mkolo's face, and she is eliminated, giving her more time to torment her pet chicken. Whilst Hypaspist is busy with Thunderballs Are Go, Markbot has relieved Corey of another ball and reasons that once is bad luck, so he throws again at his Bath friend in arms and waits his return from the show. And yet again, Mark is inexplicably tricked into a club hot tub burlap sack, trademark, and deposited back to his side of the court, and this time allowing for the revival of Baggio, who gets handed a ball. Markbot avoids return fire, and Corey Bear eliminates DG3 as Mkolo eliminates MTG, and the game has swung from 5-3 in favour of Dodgers to 5-3 in favour of Never Gonna Get You Hit. Pretty good swing there. Markbot's not done, though, as he fearlessly throws at Hypaspist again, certain that the third time will be the charm. And it is, as Hypaspist revives SilentAl after he catches the 3-peat. Now it's at this point I have to comment. I feel that Rip has a lot of blame to shoulder here. He forced Markbot to make these throws, and then Rip and I, overnight, we had like 8 games, fun-friendly non-dodgeball games, where he murdered me 7-1. And if he'd actually thrown the ball at me during this time, none of this would have come to pass. So, blame your captain, not my fault. Binks and Bags go at each other, and Binks comes out victorious, sending the Antipodean Bagsman to the bench, and avoiding return fire as Hypaspist avoids Binks. Corey Bear eliminates Rip, leaving Markbot standing alone. He throws and misses at Markbot, and that gives Markbot a ball. Now, before Never Gonna Get You Hit can decide who's going to throw at Markbot next, he's launching his 4th ball at Hypaspist. And whilst Hypaspist takes the ball, can't quite get the 4th catch of the game from Markbot, but he does take him out with the next throw, courtesy of a final turn Fred, to get the exact damage. Now, I got to give huge props to Markbot here, because, like, Mark didn't, like, in our games, he did nothing wrong. He played well. And it was just one of those where you play well and you still lose. And a lot of players would not have kept their good humour during all of that. And Mark was absolutely on fire all the time. He was very upbeat still, and huge props to his mental resilience, because Mark was a fantastic opponent. And Dodging in the Dark were spectacularly good opponents all round, I think, Al. It was a great match, good fun, lots of banter. And yes, they were unfortunately not the winners of this round, though.
Nope.
And the MVP.
Well, I mean, I guess how many catches did you have?
3.
Yeah, I think you got it this time. You had 1 hit, 3 catch. I feel like the co-MVP should be Markbot, though, because he kept throwing at you, and you kept getting catches.
I mean,
so he sort of inflated your numbers a little.
He's not wrong. I shouldn't have got that lucky that many times in a row.
Yeah. So 1 hit, 3 catches, 2 dodges, alive at the end of the match, 70% win percentage. We'll give it to Hypaspist.
Well, I'll take that. It's probably the best I've ever played in Dodgeball, if that's a salve to anyone. But yeah, that was a fun round. But we do have some MVP of the rounds and Moneyball awards to give out as well, Al. Now, just to remind everyone, the Moneyball award, which we'll come to second, is the player whose performance for the round provided the most value compared to their draft position. The MVP of the round, the MVPs of the games, that has to be from the winning team. But the MVP of the round doesn't, Al, does it? That can come from just whoever has had the best round.
Right.
And who was that this round 2?
This time, oddly enough, I mean, I shouldn't say oddly enough. I mean, the man is an absolute beast when it comes to Star Realms. But oddly enough, came from a non-winning team. We got to give it to Kincaid. I mean,
Just
he
amazing
had,
performance.
it was a huge performance. And if his team had won one more race, he would have easily been MVP of that game too.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Yeah, the race win, 3 hits, 2 catches, 3 dodges, 75% overall win rate.
And
It
I mean,
was
something that
gross.
doesn't even come through the numbers is that like he was the one that clawed them back into that
Right.
race off, right? So his performance
Right.
was what dug them out of that hole. And whilst they didn't come out winners, he gave them a shot.
Yeah.
And then the Moneyball Award, Al.
Moneyball is someone who should be used to this award and who should really be drafted higher in the draft. Goes to Artemis. He was a 4th-round pick for Agent Seto. He got 2 catches and 2 dodges and an 80% defensive win percent.
Which is really, really good. And just, I'd like to point out, actually, Al, on the Moneyball Award as well, Kincaid's performance was so good, he was in the top 3 Moneyball performances as well.
This is true.
That's how good of a performance Kincaid put in this round. So,
Yeah.
With that, we can then move with Court 5 over. We can move to the standings as we go into round 3. It's still pretty much a mirror. We've got 4 on top with 2 wins, no losses. We've got 4 OXs, and then we've got the two in the middle. Donut Stop Revising, reviving, not revising. I keep making that slip. And Sweet Catch of Mine just sandwiched in that middle. So it's starting to take shape. That table, it's looking good. And round 3 got underway today. I lost my race in 7 game turns. I don't know how you did, Al, but Tatiana absolutely dismantled me through damage. Not even a unicorn.
I beat, hopefully, the correct player. I played Dakaran or Dankaran.
So
I won my game is the important part. Doesn't matter if I got the right player.
Check with Ninjanin if it's Dankaran or Dakaran, and he'll be able to sort you out.
I've posted the win, and I've been waiting all day for him to chime in and be like, "We didn't play our game yet."
So good. But yeah, round 3 is underway. It's absolutely fantastic this season. I think we're having a lot of fun, and we've got a surprise for everyone, Al. Just as we sign off, the final bit of tea, as it were, to come our way is a tune. This is a surprise for all of us, but especially Don't Stop Reviving. And we're going to leave you with this gift. I've been Hypaspist. He's been SilentAl. This has been Thunderballs Our Go. And we're going to sign off, and we're going to leave you with this epic song. Now, do stay tuned, because I don't know if it's going to get muted in the VOD. But for your audio pleasure, here it is.
Just a red ball hurl, thrown out by a lonely girl. Chaz caught her midnight toss, sending her away. Just an MVP, recognized with Spanish tea. He won the round 1 prize with outstanding play. Gamblers in a gift-filled room, the sound of heavy metal tunes. For a donut they don't mind a fight. Let's go Chaz, Roll John, Crank Brand, Kev 1. Danger balls waiting, up and down authority their wrenches, searching for a hit. Glaze, be claw. Why can't we just hit Sabella trolling somewhere in the thread? Throwing hard hit with grape fill. This whole group chat is so damn chill. Buying anything to fish the row. Just one more card. Juan will win, John won't lose. Raw got hit and sings the blues. Spreadsheet updates never end. Let's go Chaz, Raw, John, Crank, Brent, Kev, Juan. Danger, balls waiting. Up and down authority, their wrenches, searching for a hit. Be glaze, be claw, living just to spite Politas, trolling somewhere in the thread. Donut stop reviving. 7 dodgeballs jiving. 1 glitch catches. Donut stop reviving. Hold on. Poop jokes, trash talk.